How's it going, guys? Welcome to another edition of GHNV, my General Hospital After Show. It's been an interesting week in Port Charles, to say the least. Last week I talked about my theory on Griffin being the guy that Claudette cheated with. This week I'm changing my tune a little bit and I'm really confused. One of the other theories that was flying around with Griffin was that he could actually be Claudette, and initially I was laughing at those theories. But the more I see Griffin around Nathan, the more I actually think it could be true. He seems to be acting more so giddy around Nathan than actually, afraid of him. I mean, homeboy dropped his beer when Maxie was talking about how irrelevant Nathan's wife was. Almost as if that broke his heart. And then going back a few weeks, Maxie trying to coerce Griffin into being in the real men issue. Look how weird he was with that. It actually seems like it's a possibility at this point. And then at the end of Maxie and Nathan's engagement party, he walks out and hears a gunshot, and I'm confused again. I really don't know where the writers are going with this. I'm really just hoping that the build up to whatever his secret is as good as what it actually is. After the whole Rachel Berlin thing, I'm a little bit shaky. And now she seemed to drop out of sight completely this week. A storyline that has been moving along though. Anna and Paul got arrested. I have to say that the scenes between Anna, Jordan, and Paul were amazing. Anna threw Paul under the bus and I loved every second of it. But unfortunately later on in the week, he got the upper hand, he got out of jail. Anna's still in jail. But not to worry because Mac and Felicia hired Scott Baldwin to be her attorney. That's either really good or really awful. As much as I love Scott Baldwin, the word shark isn't really what comes to mind when it comes to him in a court of law. But hey, we saw Mac and Felicia this week. They actually appeared, you guys. The vets were all out left, right, and center this week. We had Anna, we had Scott, we had Mac, we had Felicia, we have Laura and Kevin. He's trying to help Laura solve the mystery that Helena left her in that book. The only two words he's figured out were Heartbreak Hotel. I'm actually stumped. I have no idea what it could mean. You guys, I watched the 80s playlist, the 90s playlist, all the Cassadine stories, and I don't know. There was a flashback involving Laura's conversation with Helena, and they were talking about Stavros, which obviously makes me wonder if it's about Stavros, but even so, you know, it's hard to figure it out. And as soon as I saw that flashback of Helena, because I know how soaps work and I know how the budget works a little bit, I knew that they had to bring back Constance Towers that same episode. Sure enough, they did. Sam had a nightmare about Helena. It seems that deep down, Sam is very terrified of the curse that she left on her and Jason. Anyway, before Sam had that nightmare, Sam and Jason shared a scene that really just made me scratch my head a little bit. Jason had a flash of a memory of them kissing in bed together, and Sam automatically was like, that was the last night we spent together. I'm sorry, is that the only time you've ever kissed Jason in your bed? Like, what? Even... what? Laundry's done. Which leads to the final thing that I want to talk about. Monica is about to take no prisoners and put Dr. Obrecht in her place. Full disclosure here, I absolutely adore Kathleen Gotti and her portrayal of Dr. O. She definitely became one of my favorites among the villains, but there is no way in hell that that character deserves to be the chief of staff of the hospital. The hospital is supposed to be the heart of the show, and to have someone that literally is a supervillain running that place, oh, it irks me. That was one of the most stupidest decisions that Ron Carlivati ever made. People thought it was clever. I was angered, okay? I'm a firm believer that the supervillains of GH should never be permanent fixtures on the show. Trying to redeem them and putting them in, regular society is just... ugh, it makes me... bleh. This is the woman who's in love with Faison. This is the woman who held Robin hostage for 2 years. The woman that put Robin in a coma. And God knows what else that the character has done in her past. Steve Hardy, Alan Quartermain, Monica Quartermain, Patrick Drake, Robin Scorpio, Steven Weber, Dr. Obrecht? Really? I am ready for Monica to kick her ass out of that position. End of discussion. I'm out. See you guys next week.